Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Feel It. This episode is a bit different. We're going to chat in English because I've got a special guest, my highly sensitive friend Roberto from Switzerland. We are diving into his recent progress and the journey we've both been on as we step into a new chapter of our lives. I'm super curious that as a highly sensitive person, how Roberto finds a community in real life and connects with like-minded people. Now, we actually had 2 meetings for this episode, but unfortunately, I forgot to record the second one. So you'll be listening to the first meeting, and I have summarized the second one in my own words. I hope you dig it. Roberto and I had a really deep and inspiring conversation, and I'm hoping it will do the same for you. Let's get into it. So you are in your house?
I'm in my house in Switzerland. We have a very great day and with a lot of rain, but it's okay. This is winter.
Oh, is it snowing there?
No, luckily it's not snowing because I hate snow.
Me too.
It gives a lot of problems. First of all, you have to take the shovel and clean the garden and everything. There is a lot of work to do when it snows.
Yeah, I see. Now in the city I'm living, precisely speaking, it's a town, a small town. Yeah.
Yes.
It's cloudy and 9 o'clock in the evening. And
Yes.
well, I started this conversation because you contact with me to ask about my situation and
Yes.
and also you updated your progress. You said that you have
Yes,
found people.
it seems I'm very amazed because it seems that both of us have some sort of similar stories, life stories lately.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong, but it seems that you are now feeling better than in the past.
Yeah,
And,
much better.
so it's for me, and started some years ago. In some way, started to take care of myself. Just yesterday, I experienced for the first time how much singing is affecting me. So incredible. Like maybe for the first time in my life, I'm finding the way to express myself. It's a very important talk to say, thing to say. But I started some years ago contacting the HSP group on Facebook with Jacqueline Strickland and the other person. They are a nice environment, so understanding, so patient. And then one of these persons were you, of course, and no one was ashamed to show his problems. And then started my path. I don't want to say that I'm a happy person, I'm a realized person, but I feel that I on my way to live my life. This is very nice.
Yeah, me too. Because before I joined Aaron and Lynn's HSP group, my life was a mess. I went there, asked for help, and I'm very glad and so appreciate you respond to me. You are the first person. Yeah.
Thank you.
It is the.
I feel. I guess you cannot. I experienced it more than once in my life. When you are in trouble, you ask for help, and someone is so scared that they step back. But you cannot blame them because some people lack the strength. They are scared about life. I want I want to talk about singing again because I realized that in the music has always been my passion, but I was too shy to sing, and I was all the time telling myself that I will not able to sing to play an instrument, and it took nearly 40 years in my life to take this.
10 years.
Yes, 40 years. Yes, you're not. It's not a mistake.
40. 40.
40. Yes.
40 years.
When I was young, when I was a child,
Mm.
my mother told me that I was singing all the time. That maybe because of some people teasing me, I don't know why. I stopped doing it, and
Playing the music.
then when I was singing, I was singing childish songs and things like that. Then I stopped, and some years later, I tried to learn to play the guitar, but
Wow.
it was a total failure, and I was so disappointed that I didn't want to take on music again. I just listened to music. I realized every time how much music was touching me inside.
Mm.
Until in my late 50s, now I'm nearly 65. In my late 50s, I tried to on my own to play the piano.
Yeah, you
Then
play very well.
after some hesitation, I decided to take some piano lessons.
Mm.
And after a couple of years, I started this in September this year. I started to take singing lessons, and I went there with the first lesson with when I was sure about myself that I had no voice. I was not able to sing, and but this teacher, in half an hour, convinced me of the opposite.
Half
And
an hour convince you.
half an hour, yes, it is just, but not with words, just telling me to do some sounds with my mouth, with my throat, and in a moment, in half an hour, I was making some sounds so strong that you could hear it since some kilometers away, I would say. But this is what it is important is this is for everyone. It's not that I have some gift. I'm not a gifted player person to sing. Just when you know how to do, you realize how much your voice is so powerful. It's so incredible. We sing with our throat, but in reality, we must sing with everything in our body. And so yesterday, just to say one, I wake up with I was not well. I had my head who was turning and turning. I feel so weak, and it was not going away alone. So after I was on the verge of taking a pill, but then I started singing,
Mhm.
and but singing not a particular song, just making some sound with my voice
Mm.
from the deep of my heart. In half an hour, everything was gone, and I was so calm.
Oh.
And my teacher told me that when you sing, you are activating your nervous system, this part of the nervous system that you cannot control directly. And then you realize it when you see some drops here in your eyes. You start having tears in your eyes.
You are touched by your thing, or when the song reminds you something. You mean the
Please,
tears? Why?
no, it is not. You're not. Uh, it's not like crying because you are sad because of something, but you feel such a strong emotion inside,
Mm.
and you are completely
Unconscious.
filled with this, yes, with a sense of calm. And it's about something you cannot control consciously. And,
Oh. It's like a
so please,
therapy. It's like a kind of.
kind of, yes. And it's like when a mom sings to his child who is crying, and
Ah,
the singing is
lullaby.
calming down the boy, the daughter. And
Yeah.
it is the same. You can do it by yourself. And,
Mm-hmm.
so very, very curated. And, another important experience, he told me about a movie in has been recorded in Mongolia, and,
Mongolian.
between please
The movie in Mongolia.
in Mongolia, Mongolia, yes,
Mongolia. Oh.
near northern of China, and,
Mm.
among the nomads who live in the Gobi Desert with camels and sheep, things like that.
Yeah.
And the story is about a female camel who would give birth to a calf, but for some reasons she refuses this calf, and he's not going to milk it, and the calf is on the verge of dying. When they do a particular rite, which this nomad knows very well, a woman starts singing to an incredible melody to this camel, and after some time, you see the camel start crying. This
Uh,
female crying. You see in the movie the tears, a lot of tears from the eyes of this camel, and then she accepts the calf, and everything is fine. So,
it seems that music or the songs is a kind of language
yes,
with no boundaries.
no, I guess uh, I'm talking a lot. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but
Yeah.
it seems that I'm convinced that language is something very recent in human history, but human beings express themselves a lot with some sounds, facial expressions, things like that. You know, just for an example, I had mm, a difficult mother. She was a lot stressed when I was born, and in the first years of my life, she was always very angry. And even today, when my mother is 90 years old,
Oh.
when I call her on the phone,
Mm.
on WhatsApp in video, I feel deep in myself some uh, very deep anxiety. I would say even fear.
Yeah, I,
Uh,
I see. I
until
understand.
I see,
I
yes,
resonate.
until I see her face, until I hear her voice. When I realize that she's calm, I relax. But
Mm.
otherwise, there is something inborn in me. Maybe it is from my childhood, which
Memory.
gives me this fear
Mm.
from this person, which is completely um, unpredictable. You cannot expect what to find every time.
Yeah, yeah. I I can relate to that. Every time I called my mom, I was very anxious too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I guess
Mm.
it is some sort of imprinting that we have once and for all,
Mm.
but we have to do with it. There's no way to
Mm.
eliminate.
Yeah, I'm very curious that how the idea of attending the singing class or the lessons pop up in your mind.
And okay, this is, I think it has a lot to do with the Taoism. In the message you sent me some days ago, you talked about you are curious to know about my interest in Taoism, and it is because looking back to my life, it seems to me that I never take any decisions. I never tried to force things, and when I did, it was a complete failure.
Mm.
And now you were surprised when I told you about 40 years waiting, but you have to do things maybe when this is the moment. I would say that this is a very personal thing, but my first kiss to a woman was when I was 40 years old. And it has been a lot of suffering, waiting so much. Well, when it happened, it was the time. And I guess, I don't know. And even when I started my Jungian analysis, when I started taking piano lessons, when I started taking singing lessons, I was not forcing things, just it happened. At some point, someone was telling me, yes, after a lot of years. Maybe I am sure that if I tried to do these things in the past, it would have been a failure. I was not ready again. I was not ready. And, until sometimes I was, even when I was completely alone at home, I was so, felt such a guilt to singing or dancing alone. It is too much. I'm too shy. And then maybe another step on would be to start dancing. I'm not talking about dancing in with loud music and things like that, but using your body to move freely.
Today, I watched the YouTube video and I followed the dancer. I tried to dance myself too. Oh, it's so coincidence.
Yes, but I guess they say in quantum physics, they say that there are twin particles that even when they are so afar from one from the other, they behave the same way. In some way, our situation reminds me of these twin particles. And even you live in China, I'm living in Europe, but in some way, we are some sort of twin particles, twin human beings.
Yeah.
And my analyst, which by the way, she's from Japan.
Oh, the Japanese?
Yes, Japanese, yes. I guess she's a Zen Buddhist. She more than once told me that everyone is close to every other person. We are so close in every moment. And I like to think about it.
Yeah, and I think we are both sensitive to noise, to sound. Yeah, so I think maybe that's why we are interested in singing or dancing, because they are kind of vibration similar to sound or noise, something like that. I think they are almost the same, but one is in disorder, one is in order.
Yes, I guess. You told vibration. Yes, my singing teacher stresses a lot about this word, vibration. You must hear your body vibrate. During the first lesson, you played a note on the piano, and I have to sing that note, but there was no problem about intonation. You know, but every time after I tried to do some sound, it told me, what did you feel about it? And then we did it again, and then what do you feel about it, and so on, until I said, I feel some vibrations. Yes, and then he smiled, and he told, okay, now go on about these vibrations. And I would say that now is more or less 3 months. We are going to more or less weekly lessons. He always stresses about you must vibrate, your body must vibrate with music, not just your vocal cords, your throat, but everything inside your nose, in your ears, in your deep in your heart. Everything must vibrate, and so it is so powerful. Such a an incredible experience
Yeah.
to
Do you have
sing.
to shake your body like this or move your
Yes.
body? Do you have to when you sing?
I will do it. Yes. And you smile. You look like a happy person.
I'm happy only with the uh, friends. I feel ease, so I can uh, laugh loudly, and yeah.
It was some months ago published some pictures of you in the country. You were maybe in a wood and you looked so calm with there was you made a lot of pictures about you and
Mm,
you looked very at ease in this situation.
mm,
In other moments when I remember on the other side when you were in a difficult situation about noises, you were at all costs looking for some place in the world where you can be in a silent environment.
yeah. I remember a very long time ago you told me that when you are at maybe your 30s, you go out maybe to the library or somewhere, and
Yeah,
after 10 o'clock you go back home.
yes. It
Yeah.
was I
Why?
was in a big depression there. I was in my 40s
Oh,
and I was very alone and at some point I started to be scared when in the evening coming back from work
mm,
I was home alone and
mm,
then I started during the summer to go outside taking advantage of the longer days with some books. I
yeah.
read a lot about Indian philosophy, Chinese philosophy, things like that.
Yeah. Why you are so interested in the Eastern culture?
Because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is so different from us, and it was some kind of a discovery for me because maybe people from Asia don't realize that we Westerner live in a Christian environment, and in particular, I've born in a Catholic place, in a Catholic state in Italy, where everyone is about good and evil. You must be good, and then you will be awarded some. And if you are evil, you will be punished. And it's everything about it. And even now, then when I started to read some, by chance, I would say, but some things about other cultures, and I realized that it was not the same way all over the world, and that there is a complete different attitude, in particular in Asia, but also in native so-called primitive populations. And when I started to read about Buddha,
Mm,
Indian culture, Taoism, Chinese culture, it was really like if someone has opened a new horizon in front of me. And so this idea that world is just an illusion, a creation of
mm,
our mind, but there's of course there's nothing wrong with it. It's nice to be here, and all these things. There's no guilt. There's no good. There's no evil. Just live your life. And
mm.
it was a very, I would say, a crucial moment in my life. I don't know. Maybe you are born with in this environment. You don't realize how much we Westerners are conditioned in our lives.
So,
If we look at the,
mm,
please,
uh, and I wanted to make sure that I understand you well. You said that in Western culture, it is very strict for um, human beings, good, evil,
yes,
good, bad. Yeah. If you do something not good enough, you will be punished. But in Eastern culture,
yeah,
it's more
yes,
caring. Is it
Yes, it's
all right?
yes.
Mm.
If you look at I don't know, American movies, everything is about good and evil. There are the good person that fight and win their battle against evil.
Yeah,
It's
like
all about it.
yeah, Hollywood movie.
Hollywood movies, everything is just like that, about it, always. Yes, it seems to me, of course, I, I see that also in your countries there are wars, there are difference between people. Someone suffers, someone is rich. I don't know, but it seems to me that is very different. Reading these books give me a lot of peace of mind. And when it came in winter, when I cannot go anymore after work outside because it was too cold,
Yeah.
I started attended to the a library
Mm.
who was open until 10 o'clock in the evening. And so it was nice. Most of all, there was silence.
Yeah.
And
Very quiet.
yes, very quiet. And you could say, but you could do it also at home. But when I was at home, it was scary. I have to be outside.
Mm. To be with people, but they don't talk too much to us. So you feel kind
Yes,
of surrounded by.
yes. You. Now that you made me think about this, maybe I need to know that I was not alone. But this was the most kind of relationship with others that at that time I was able to afford.
Mm.
Otherwise, it would have been too much.
Yeah, I see.
But even today, I wouldn't say that I'm very at ease when there are a lot of persons. But every 2 weeks, we have a choir, we sing together, and I'm able to stay with other person without any problem. And I'm really
Mhm.
sorry that this is maybe a bit childish, but I'm so happy that the teacher and other persons appreciate so much the quality of my singing, and the
Crazy.
teacher tells me, yes, he
So you are
tells me
really happy.
absolutely I should not leave the choir because
Oh.
I'm in the normally in this situation there are a lot of women, a very few men, because maybe they find that going in a choir to sing is such a female thing to do. I don't know why. And so we are just 2 or 3 men and maybe 12, 10 or 12 women singing.
Mm.
So they need a lot male voices. And we are very appreciated. And I sing in the part of, in voices, there are the female voices are sopranos and contralto, and the male voices are tenore and bass. And I'm a tenore, very demanding for me because I have to sing at the limit of my higher frequencies. But it's nice. I
Mm.
like it.
We enjoy that.
We play, they do, we call it canon. It's an older way of singing when the choir is divided into 4 sections: sopranos, contraltos, tenors, and bass. And every part sing the same song, but they don't start in the same moment to sing. Then
Oh.
normally, yes, the soprano start singing, and everyone is silent. Then the teacher, at the right moment, tell the contraltos to start singing, and they
Oh.
start from the beginning, while the sopranos are always again by far in advance. Then it start the tenors, uh, and the last they start the bass, and all these 4 groups form a melody. It's not easy, but it's difficult for the teacher to control
Like
everything.
Yeah.
But when it works very well. It's so
Yeah.
nice.
Mm. What do we benefit most from that singing lessons?
The the most is to realize that I am able to keep up with the other. I'm not such a failure in singing. When you find that something you like is appreciated from other person, maybe it's a bit selfish, but I don't know. One of the members of the choir the last time asked me to go to join her in another choir. This is of the conservatory, but maybe this is too much for me at the moment. I don't want to take some risks.
So he asked you out to play on the stage, is it?
And they at some point play on the stage. Yes, after some, of course, they play classical pieces and they do a lot of rehearsal. And when everything is okay, they play on the stage. But this is, I guess, really too much for me at the
Play on
moment.
the street.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
Yes.
so
Yes.
cool. Maybe
Yes.
I
Maybe in a
think
couple of years
yeah.
you will heard about me playing at the Scala of Milano or something
You
like
can record that and post on Facebook.
that. It's so nice by itself. There's no need to go on stage. I experienced it even some weeks ago to go alone in the wood, found a place where I sit to remain there for a couple of hours, making some some sounds, singing some mantra. It's such an experience to sing when you're alone in nature.
Mm. You sing
I completely
mantra, right? You sing down.
no, no. I was singing aloud.
Mm.
At the beginning, I was a bit shy, so I keep my voice very low, and then moment after moment, I gained was more sure about myself.
Hello guys, as I only managed to record the first part of our talk, so for the second part, I'm going to summarize the key takeaways from the whole conversation. There are some really great insights, so let's jump right in. Let's start with the first takeaway, being patient with the right timing. Do you remember I asked Roberto why he started singing lessons now instead of earlier? He shared a really personal experience. When he was a little kid, he was teased for his singing, and that made him so afraid to sing. He avoided it for many years. But then he met his amazing singing teacher, and the teacher was incredibly patient and encouraging. And not only that, his classmates also welcomed and recognized his singing efforts. This story reminded him of his first kiss, which happened when he was 40 years old. He said that if he tried something new and challenging earlier in life, he would have failed because he just wasn't ready. So here comes the question. How do we know when we are ready? I remember the saying from Mr. Zhang Xiaoyu, when you are ready, you are ready. It might sound a little confusing at first, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. For example, when I'm working on something, if I push too hard to get a result, it often doesn't turn out well. And if I force myself to reach a goal at all costs, I often end up feeling burned out and not wanting to try it again. So the lesson learned here is to take it easy and be patient with the right timing. And let's move on to our second takeaway. And during our conversation, Roberto also shared an interesting story about going out walking in the wild. At first, he was just humming softly, maybe like, but as he walked, his voice got louder and louder. he felt increasingly happy and relaxed. It was an incredible experience for him. He explained when we sing, the whole body vibrates, including our nose, our mouth, our throat. I can really relate to this. When I do something I'm really passionate about, my body, mind, and the soul seem to align with each other. I feel a sense of oneness. Just like when Roberto was singing and when I was talking this video. We are making the sound from inner self and translate that vibration to the outside world. And that's to say, being authentic is a way of connecting ourselves from the external world to the external. Now, let's talk about friendship. Roberto told me about his experience in our highly sensitive group. He has been in touch with a 91-year-old lady for several years, and they communicate via email. And this really surprised me, because like many highly sensitive people, I thought he might be a bit shy and lonely. But here he was, actively seeking out friendship. This also reminds me of something he said in the first part of our conversation. When I thanked him for being the first one in the group to help and give me suggestions, he said, don't blame other people for being indifferent, because most people are just scared and don't know how to help. So forget about the loneliness and disappointment that we feel when others don't respond. Try to find our own people. And during our conversation, Roberto also asked me about my work. I told him that I restarted my online therapy business last July, 2024. I posted some ads in Moments and got some clients. The good feedback from them made me confident in my service. But I realized that the bottleneck was very few people knew about it. I'm not that kind of person who can promote the service like a salesperson. Come on, buy my product. No, that's not me. So I started making videos to share knowledge about psychology, personal growth, and career development. I hope that by helping others, someone might be interested in my therapy and consulting service. Roberto gave me some really kind advice. He suggested that I should do more work to promote. He told me about his experience at the highly sensitive get-togethers offline, where he communicated a lot with the organizer, Jack Wing. He even recommended that I attend their online activities and give a speech someday. I was like, oh my God. And he noticed that I was scared and told me to take some time to think about it. He said that if I took that step, my business might grow really fast. And only then did I realize that I have some fear of success, the fear of the unknown, and stepping out of my comfort zone. It's definitely something I need to spend some time thinking about. Am I ready for the so-called success? Interesting. Another important point from our conversation was about the role of a good teacher. Remember, Roberto loved to sing as a little kid and was laughed at. He didn't believe in his singing ability until he met his singing teacher. And when they met for the first time, the teacher spent half an hour just letting him sing and express himself. Instead of making fun of him, the teacher provided guidance and encouragement. And this made me realize how important a good teacher is for our skill learning, trauma healing, and personal growth, especially for our highly sensitive people. So the next time when I'm looking for a teacher, I'll be sure to consider that if they have enough empathy, patience, and professionalism. Finally, I wanted to share one last takeaway. After our conversation, Roberto privately messaged me his email and phone number. This simple act brought back some memories of my travels in 2012. In South Korea, My sister and I got lost, and a kind man led us all the way to our hotel. In Thailand, when I couldn't find the night market I wanted to visit, a lady took me there by subway and even gave me her phone number in case I needed some help in Bangkok. These strangers, people I'd never met before, were so willing to help. I was highly appreciated for their kindness. In our highly sensitive group, when I was in my dark moment and asked for help, someone came forward and said I could contact him or her at any time. Roberto was one of them. The conversation with Roberto has been such a rewarding experience for me. I've learned so much, and I hope these insights can inspire you and help you too. Do you have similar experiences? Maybe you've had a moment of realizing the right timing, or felt the power of connection, or had an encounter with a kind stranger. Please share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time. Bye-bye.